Good evening, Flosstube, and welcome to my channel. I'm Sarah and this is Sew Me Sarah on Thursday the 19th of December 2024. You're very welcome to my Christmas episode. I think this is Christmas Tidbits number 4. This is not a regular episode of my channel, but it is a little festive edition where I will share some stitching with you, show you what has been in the latest parcels of the Historical Sampler Company's Advent calendar, and I'll share my own little Christmas tidbit with you as well. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you for your responses to the last 2 videos. I really enjoyed listening to your stories about Christmas crockery and china and the things that you find special in your family, and it was lovely to hear all about those. Thank you also for your responses to the January plans video episode as well. You all have some great plans and you're just making me want to do all the things that you're doing too. But thank you so much for sharing your plans with me too. I want to share a little bit of happy mail that arrived yesterday. A lovely large envelope arrived from my friend Nuff, who is a viewer here, and Nuff has sent me some goodies. So she was in Turkey a little while back and she picked up for me this beautiful zippered bag, and it is woven and the colors are absolutely fantastic. So rich and regal, I think. So this is a beautiful woven bag and it will be perfect for some of my 2025 stitches. And inside there are some lovely little cards with nice messages from Nuff on there. So there were also some beautiful sweet treats, which we all as a family have already sampled. So you're not going to get to see those. But Nuff included this beautiful little beeswax, like a beeswax cameo. So that will be nice to use. And she sent me a whole bunch of linens, which are just beautiful. Thank you so much. And she had contacted me a little earlier in the year and said she was having a clear out and said she would send me charts that I could then use for shares. So in the new year I will be able to share some of this beautiful pile which Nuff has sent to me. Look how many there are, and they're all beautiful. So that is really special, and I will keep them for shares for the channel. I might stitch 1 or 2 before I pass them on, but thank you so much, Nuff. That was a really great parcel, and so very generous of you to share them with me and with the channel. Thank you so much for the beautiful, beautiful woven bag. I love that, and I'm looking forward to hiding 1 or 2 2025 projects in there. Just as a reminder, before I show you some stitching, just as a reminder, I want you to know, in case you missed it, that on episode 92, there is a birthday giveaway. So it's towards the end of the video. If you would like to watch and enter the giveaway, you have to do it there on episode 92. I will be drawing the winner of that video sometime between Christmas and New Year. So you have a little bit of time to still watch that and enter if you would like to. Okay, so my stitching for the last couple of days has been on the stitches that came in the Historical Sampler Company's Advent calendar. So the first one, which I've already shared my start with you on, is the gingerbread house, and I have now got it finished. So this is a finished object and it's so cute. I should have got my boards out, but yeah, I'm not, well, to say that I'm not organized is an understatement. Everything in this house is everywhere. I'm getting ready for Christmas, for my son coming home, for the end of term, for the end of work, all the things that we're all doing. So forgive me if I forget things like my boards. Anyway, you can see the twinkly lights of the tree through the fabric, but this is the Christmas gingerbread house finish and it is gorgeous. really gorgeous. I look forward to being able to finish that sometime next year. I'm not going to even try to add it to my current to-do list. I will just pop it in the finishes drawer, and maybe I'll have a little batch finishing session at some stage next year. So that is the first stitch. And then I started the Snowman Snowglobe, which was another of the patterns that was included in the Advent calendar from Historical Sampler Company. So I love a snow globe. If you've been around here for a while, you already know that. And I made a nice little start on him. So I need to finish the candy canes, finish the band in his hat, and give him his scarf and the base as well. So there's a little bit of stitching still to do, but I will get this one finished, hopefully over the weekend. So that is the Snowman Snowglobe. And that is all the stitching I've had since I last shared with you, which was just a few days ago. The Advent calendar, I'm going to share days 15 to 18 of the Historical Sampler Company's 2024 Advent calendar. So there shouldn't be any spoilers here as long as you have already opened up to day 18. If you haven't and you don't want to know, please skip ahead. But today is the 19th and I'm not even sharing the 19th just to avoid spoiling your surprises. So on day 15, we got another beautiful pattern. This one is the pattern for a biscornu of reindeer. Do you remember the little reindeer needle minder I showed you for day 14? Well, this is him. So this is Rudolph on a biscornu, and the fabric was included. It's this beautiful kind of winter blue Ada. So we have enough for the front and the back of the biscornu, and that is another one I'm very happy to add to my stash. So that's a lovely, lovely gift for day 15. Again, we have already got all of the threads to stitch that with, and we even have the little heart button, or sorry, star button for the center there. That was in our trim kit. So I'm sorry, my mouth keeps falling off the bottom of the screen. I know that doesn't help those of you who like to lip read, so my apologies for that. So yes, we already have the star buttons included in the day 3 little trim tin that we were given in the Advent calendar. So that's really fun to have what we need to be able to finish this, most of what we need to be able to finish this project. So a great one, as I said, for my stash. On day 16, we got this box, which is a Nutcracker gingerbread hand cream. And I'll try to get it over. It's lovely. It's very silky and light, so I like a nice light hand cream, and it smells beautiful. So I was keeping Charlotte going and having a laugh with her that my hands smelled good enough to eat, and she said, "Mommy, don't eat your hands." But it does smell really good. So it's important for us stitchers to keep our hands moisturized. My advice though is to do it quite well in advance of your stitching. Don't start stitching 2 minutes after you've put the moisturizer on, because you risk transferring oils to your fabric. But moisturize 15 to 20 minutes before you stitch, and your hands will be nice and smooth and you won't catch your threads on your dried fingers. So ask me how I know this. But that is my advice with hand lotion. But it is important for us stitchers to have hand lotion. I believe that working with silks is particularly important not to have dry hands, and our hands do dry out at this time of year as we're in homes, in the Northern Hemisphere anyway, as we're in homes with central heating on all day long. So lovely hand cream gift from the Historical Sampler Company Advent. Day 17 is a little pack of needles. These are from Whitecroft, and they are a size 26 petite needle. Oh, sorry, just size 26, not necessarily petite. So these are White Croft Heritage needles. I haven't used this before. I didn't even know of this brand before, so I'm looking forward to trying them out. I am not a needle snob, but we all do have our favourites. So I like several different kinds, and I'm happy to try a new kind. So this is a lovely addition to our kits. And then yesterday, on the 18th, we received this little rubber stamp that says "Stitched with Love," so that we are able to mark our cards or a gift tag, or perhaps a label for our piece, and mark it. So I really like that. I think it's a very sweet idea to add that in the advent calendar. So overall, I am absolutely thrilled with this advent calendar. I think it's been such a great variety of items, included patterns and useful notions, and treats as well. So it's been really, really fun to have all of this provided in the one advent calendar. If you are interested in the advent calendar for next year, you can go ahead and register to be notified when they are announcing their plans for the calendar for 2025. There's a link in the drop down box below where you will be able to go straight to the page of the Historical Sampler Company's website and add your email address to that list. You're not committing to purchasing the advent calendar at this stage. All you're doing is saying, yes, I'd like to know when you're announcing the details of that. And that gives you an opportunity to hear all about it and not miss out. Just before I do the next little tidbit, I thought you might like to see a photo of Charlotte visiting Santa on Saturday. She went to her special needs group on Saturday called Fun Days, and they always do a lovely job with Santa there. So I'm very glad that she got to see Santa, because unfortunately she's come down ill again with a dreaded tummy bug, and we're going to have to miss a couple of other parties that were planned this week. But at least she got to this one last Saturday, and she enjoyed it thoroughly. My Christmas tidbit for today is all about Christmas decorations. I love all kinds of Christmas decorations. I love all of the ones that I have. I don't tend to put out things that I don't like. So I love them all. But you know how some of them are just really special. And when you open them, you bring them down from the loft or the base, bring them up from the basement or wherever it is, you keep your decorations. And when you open them every year, you get a little zing in your heart because you're reminded of it or of something else because of that decoration. So there are a few that are just a little more special than others. And I thought you might like to see a couple of the ones that provoke that kind of reaction in me when I'm opening my Christmas decorations box every year. So I got all of these out earlier. So I took them off the tree and I took them out of where they are. And I came back after dinner and Charlotte had put everything back where it should be. So I hope I'm not missing any because we've had to chase them around the house all afternoon. Anyway, here are a few of the decorations I wanted to share with you. So I haven't chosen cross-stitch decorations for this particular episode because you see my cross-stitch decorations all the time as I'm stitching them and finishing them and whatever. So of course there are cross-stitch decorations that mean a lot to me and cross-stitched gifts that I've been given that mean a lot to me. But for the purposes of this Christmas tidbits, I just thought I would step aside from the cross-stitch and show you other things. So back in 2001, when Andrew was born, my son, I made him a Christmas stocking and a Christmas sack. Now, this is proof of the journey that we go on as a stitcher. And in this case, my journey as a quilter and a sewist, not a cross-stitching journey. But let's just say I know an awful lot more now about constructing and creating Christmas stockings and drawstring sacks than I did then. I was really totally winging it back then. I had a little sewing machine, zero experience, no teaching under my belt. I was just winging it. So this is his Christmas stocking, and of course it's very special, even though it's all wrong. So this this stocking, pardon me, this stocking has some applique on it, and the applique is from a Debbie Mum book. I can't even remember what it was called. And it was cheats applique because none of it's actually appliqued. It's pieces of fabric cut out and bonda-webbed on or interfaced on. There's not actually any stitching holding those pieces of fabric on. There's a little bit of quilting around them, but no stitching actually on the pieces at all. And I just didn't know any better. And the book, I did follow the instructions in the book for the applique. It wasn't for a stocking, it was just for the little applique bits. They were to go on a hanging of some kind. And that was actually what you were meant to do. In fact, what you were meant to do was draw on stitch lines with a marker pen. So I did a Noah's Ark wall hanging like that, where I just drew the stitches on. Anyway, this I didn't mark the stitches on, and I didn't do any stitches, but this is Andrew's Christmas stocking, and it has been doing him a good service for the last 24 years. So 23 years. So this is the stocking that we put out for Santa to fill at the end of his bed. And then I also made him a Christmas sack, and this same idea was a snowman on his sack and a drawstring channel at the top. Again, I know so much more about better ways of making these now, better ways of finishing the seams. Sorry, you can't see. Better ways to finish the seams than I did then. But it's all part of my journey, and I look on them fondly, knowing that I made these for the little one that made me a mum. So, and he loves them too. So his stocking and sack. Now, of course, then when little Miss arrived in 2015, I wanted her to have a stocking and a sack. But by that time, I knew what I was doing. I'd been to many a quilting class. I had learned fancy techniques for constructing stockings where the linings were in properly. They didn't have any exposed seams. And I could do a porthole technique. And also, as you'll see, my fabric tastes had changed. So that is slightly a regret, is that they don't particularly match Andrew's when they're hanging. But it is definitely just, you know, a tale of two lifetimes. So back then, his fabrics were really all that were available to me. And then by the time Charlotte came along, I was quilting. I knew where to get fabric. I knew what fabric was available elsewhere as well. And I was able to choose what I really liked. So this is the porthole technique in the shape of the Christmas tree for her. And some more beautiful fabric on the back. When she was really little, if I can find it, I'll pop it in. But there is a photograph of her in this stocking in her first Christmas. And then she got a sack as well. This time we have some raw edged applique for a little gingerbread man, a little bit of lace trim and a proper drawstring bag channel. Again, everything inside is neat and tidy and properly constructed. But you know what? They're both equally special and precious, and I love them, and they make my heart do a little leap every year when I take them out. And one day, this one will probably go with Andrew, but for now they're still here. So those are the Christmas stockings and sacks for the children. And then I've got a couple of tree decorations to share with you. This one is a decoration I kind of wish I didn't have because it's my mum's. And when she passed, my dad said did I want all her Christmas decorations. She was the queen of Christmas. She loved Christmas. Her little apartment was like a Christmas grotto by the time she had finished decorating it. But I have, you know, I already have so much myself, and I just couldn't take on all of her decorations. And to be honest, I would find it hard to take on all of her decorations. But this one, I was there when she bought this one in America and brought it home one holiday that we were on. And I just loved it, and it always reminds me of Mum. So it goes in a very prominent place on the tree, always where I can see it from where I'm sitting, never on the back of the tree or the side of the tree, right in the centre where I always will see it, just to remind me of Mum. The next one isn't so sentimental, but it is one of my absolute favourites. This is a glass pear that I bought in Crabtree and Evelyn when they were still around. And I don't know if you can see, but inside that's like spun glass shard inside. I did have two, but sadly lost one of them last year. So, but it's special because I love it, and every year I open it and I'm, isn't that so pretty? I do like glass on my Christmas tree. I love the way glass ornaments catch the lights and the twinkle of them. So those are my, some of my favourite ornaments are glass ones. The last ornaments I want to share with you today, I've placed them on a wooden plate, which is not where they normally stay, but it's my attempt to share this without disaster. So we know how this goes, folks. Let me show you my Russian doll Santas. So I picked these up at a Christmas market in Belfast many years ago. They are hand painted and from Russia. So I know we're not all happy with Russian things at the moment, but these were from a long time ago, and I always loved the idea of Russian dolls, but they were not particularly, just regular Russian dolls, not particularly my aesthetic or something that I had somewhere for at home to be able to put out. So when I went to the Christmas market and saw these Santa ones, I thought, oh yes, I'll be able to have Santa ones, and I really love these. Oh, see, disaster. In fairness, he's very small and very unsteady. That little Santa. Anyway, those are my Russian doll Santas, and I love those. So I'm sure that you have some favourite Christmas decorations too, ones that just touch your heart when you open them, ones that are extra special. And if you fancy telling me about those in the comments, I'd love to hear. So that would be really nice. Okay, I'm going to share with you a poem before we go today. And this poem is about Christmas Day and remembering back to Christmas Day and what it was, what it meant to someone. So it's called Christmas Day, and the author or the poet is called Brian Moses. It was waking early and making a din. It was knowing that for the next 20 minutes I'd never be quite so excited again. It was singing the last verse of O Come All Ye Faithful, the one that's only meant to be sung on Christmas Day. It was lighting a fire in the unused room and a draught that blew back wood smoke into our faces. It was lunch and a full table, and Dad repeating how he'd once eaten his off the bonnet of a lorry in Austria. It was keeping quiet for the Queen, and Gran telling that one about children being seen and not heard, as if we could get a word in edgeways once she started. It was Monopoly, and me out to cheat the devil to be the first to reach Mayfair. It was just a small one for the lad, and Dad saying, we don't want him getting tiddly. It was ants assaulting the black piano and keeping clear of the mistletoe in case they trapped me. It was pinning a tail on the donkey and nuts that wouldn't crack and crackers that pulled apart but didn't bang. And then, when the day was almost gone, it was Dad on the stairs on his way to bed and one of us saying, you've forgotten to take your hat off, and the purple or pink or orange paper still crowning his head. I'm sure that you have many memories of what Christmas is or Christmas was, and I hope that they're good ones. I hope to be back with you in a few days' time, beginning of next week, I think, and for my last pre-Christmas episode. And I'll be with you to share a little bit more then about the calendar, about some stitching if I've been lucky enough to get any done over the weekend. And until then, I hope that you will all stay well and stitch happy. Bye, folks.